Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I'm your host, Tanya. And tonight we have made it back to Monday, guys. Listen, I hope everybody's had a great weekend. I hope everybody enjoyed their 4th of July extended break. I had a wonderful time with some friends and some family over the weekend as well. Weather was beautiful. Weather is gorgeous today as well. And guess what, guys? We've got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of things that we're going to get deep into. Because listen, the last couple of shows that we did, we talked about race and we talked about blacks tired of black people. We talked about, racist MAGA. This week, we're actually going to talk about some MAGA supporters that are furious right now. They are terribly, terribly angry about the decision that they made voting for Trump. That's right. We're going to highlight some MAGA people. Yes, because I think some people think that I'm all looking at the Democrat side. No, honey, I'm independent, like I've stated a long time ago. I look at both sides of the coin. And guess what? This time we're going to talk about the MAGA side. We're going to listen in on some voters to let you know that this is not a black-white issue, honey. These are people that voted for Trump. Ones that are outraged at the things that are going on in this country. We're going to go ahead and get started for tonight. But first, let me just say this, guys. We had another 20 more people to join the channel from Thursday all the way to this Monday, guys. And I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you again for all the support, all the commenting, sharing, liking, everything. That helps this channel grow even more. But welcome, welcome, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. We are going to continue to keep growing and bringing you more and more content week by week. That's right. So let's go ahead and get into the first topic for tonight. This is highlighting MAGA voters, people that are mad. People will let you know why they're mad. I'm going to chime in on this video like I normally do. Once it's over, we're going to dissect it, and I'm going to let you know my 2 cents as far as how I feel about all of this situation about the MAGA voters.
Okay, he promised America first. Now he's sending billions to Israel while we're drowning back home.
And sir, why are you so upset today?
I voted for him to protect America. And now he's throwing our money at other countries and dragging us into another war.
Sir?
I didn't vote for him to babysit the whole damn world. I voted for America first.
So I just wanted to come on here and say publicly, I'm officially announcing my departure from the Republican Party. We were given 24 hours that we are no longer going to be leading this initiative. And I can say I honestly never thought that I would so deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump. For the last 4 years, I've been the lead supervisor for Project Pickle, finally discovering how many pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. And I just want to say that I'm so sorry to my family. I was so wrong, and I never thought it would come to this. And the worst part is what if we never find out how many pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
It looks like Trump supporters are regretting their vote. They are saying voting for Trump was a big mistake. Oh, how quickly the political climate has changed. I mean, not so long ago, if you remember, we had so many people campaigning for Trump, leaving their families for Trump, professing their complete love and support for Trump. If my memory serves me correct, there was even a song, for Trump. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not pledging any political allegiance, but that song was quite catchy, okay? But it looks like the tide has turned and no amount of singing has changed the situation.
Do you guys remember this lady?
to laugh. This is her now.
It's been happening frequently at the 333 Miami Avenue Federal Court building. Janet Correa's husband was detained this week. According to her immigration lawyer, he has already been placed on expedite removal.
They voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump deport. You heard that right, guys. Janet Correa, the famous Trump singing lady, has had her husband detained by ICE. And not only that, but he got put on expedited removal. They want him out of the U.S. They don't want him. But of course, we've been telling them this all along. They don't want you, bro. Also, do you remember the time I went viral because I told people to call ICE on Latinos for Trump and the family members of Latinos for Trump? It looks like it's happening, and I couldn't be happier. You reap what you sow, and I stand by what I say. But anyways, play silly games, get silly prizes.
Hispanic, and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you.
A few moments later.
Beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this.
You should have stopped years ago, but continue.
I have a construction company, and not a fucking thing is getting done.
So here we are, in the midst of the consequences of our own actions. Got it. Continue.
This is what I get.
Yes.
This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a one-day job. I might have fucked up.
You might have fucked up? No, you 100% fucked up. But the sad thing is, the sad and horrible thing is that you only think you fucked up because it's directly affecting you. You
stop right there. You remember? And we're going to chime in with that what she just said. I keep telling y'all, until it affects them, you know, it's almost like they're oblivious to it. I don't understand how at this point, you know, maybe in the very beginning you just didn't see it. But 6 months into this, going on actually 7 months, we're in July now. How can you not see it? You know, what will it take for you to lose everything you have? Because that's the road that we're on right now. That's exactly where we're headed. You know, he's thinking about deporting natural born citizens, even American citizens, and the list goes on and on and on. So it's getting worse. I don't know why people keep saying it's getting better, but you can see right here, this man is saying, I don't even know what I was thinking. The other guy that was previous, he was mad. He was like, I did not vote for this. Okay, we're in wars that we're not supposed to be in. Sending money overseas when people over here needs help. Still haven't gotten help yet. So it's just crazy. But anyway, let's keep going.
don't care about the millions of other people that it's affecting in the United States. This is 100% what you get when you ignore that he's a felon. When you ignore when he said, grab her by the you know what. When you ignore that he is liable for sexual assault, when you ignore that he has done scams and he says racist, horrible, homophobic things, this is what you get. Because the racism was there in his language all the time. Mm-hmm. You could hear him speak his racism every single day, and you chose to ignore it. So yeah, this is what you have to deal with. And it doesn't matter which race we're talking about. Donald Trump only wants white people in this country. And you ignored that. So yeah, you're dealing with it. All my love.
Another Trump supporter has made the news because they regret their vote. This just goes to show that the abuse has to hit you personally before you have any regrets. Pictured here is Sarah Baruth with her unnamed partner and father of her eldest child, who now faces deportation because she voted for Trump. We can continue to talk about how the Trump administration is going after families of color and mixed families as well, looking to divide them. We can continue to talk about how they continue to violate the constitutional rights of immigrants both legal and illegal, as they all have a right to due process. But what we're missing here is that the United States is very different from other countries in the past who were faced with the prospect of revolution. Things have to get bad for everybody, bad enough so that they can think about revolting against their government. The issue here is that the majority of the people in this country look like Sarah Baruch and are unaffected by Trump's policies, unless, of course, they are with someone who can be affected by his policies. And in her case, she faces the likelihood of having to raise her child without a father. And this is due to her selfish vote. A lot of Trump supporters do not see the people that they are affecting unless somehow some of these people are close to them. And this is not the kind of country we should want to live in, where an administration is flagrantly violating the constitutional rights of even U.S. citizens now. But this is what you voted for. The time for regret is long gone.
It's been a few days since I lost my job. I posted a few days ago, and I am now thoroughly regretting my vote for Trump. I had no idea that this is where it was going to go, that this is what he was going to do. You see Cheetos up there. Hi, Cheetos. Who's going to feed him? Who's going to buy my cat food? Who's going to buy my kids food? I had an absolutely amazing position where I was able to basically have America count on me. And now that's been taken away. I no longer have faith in the economy. I no longer have faith in Trump. I no longer have faith that we are ever going to find out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. I no longer have that faith. It's gone. So you can crack all the jokes you want to. You can make fun of us all you want. But I was earning $45 a minute in hopes of figuring out how many licks it took to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. And now the world may never know.
In reality, I was supporting a man and a movement that dehumanizes people. He basically built his platform on targeting immigrants, spreading hate, and
I feel that it would be immoral and inhumane to let a man who is suffering, who is terminally ill, spend what little time he has left in pain and isolation. Please don't let him die in a cell. Please don't let his vital memories be of those of pain and isolation. The American flag stands for compassion, kindness, liberty, and justice for all. We're all human, and today I'm asking for one human act of compassion to please let my dad come home.
These days it would be for me to say that I wasn't thinking when I voted or that I don't watch the news. I had to ask myself the same question that hundreds of you are asking me, is why did I vote the way I did? I've spent the last few days reflecting, and I feel like I came through some sort of revelation, or like blindfolds were ripped off my eyes. I started seeing...
Thank you. The blindfold has been lifted off of her eyes. You know, I think there's an illusion going on with the Trump supporter. I really don't understand it. You know, listen, I understand you not liking Biden, and if you didn't care too much for Harris, okay, whatever. All right. But we saw how Donald Trump was back in 2016 to 2020. And you saw how of a disaster that was. All right. Now he's back, and you really think, giving him another chance at this, that things are going to get better. You know, I really don't have no sympathy for some of these people. I really don't, because Kamala Harris had a plan to help all Americans. You know, she was going to look out for people that was trying to start a life here, you know, and, you know, I understand to a degree that you can't have illegal, you know, immigrants coming over illegally. I totally understand that. But what I don't understand is, why is he trying to deport natural-born citizens and even some American citizens? That's where the slippery slope is getting ready to turn into a nightmare. Okay. Now, I'm not just saying that just for just saying it, but if he really starts going tooth by tooth, line by line, trying to figure out who's American and who's not, that's not going to be pretty. If this is the result, you see how outraged some of these people are. Just think if he went in and started taking their citizenship away. Do you know what kind of outrage you're going to see? And we're not talking about just black people. We're talking about everybody, honey. Everybody. So, but anyway, we're going to keep going, and then we're going to chime into the next subject.
Things differently. I question my beliefs, my choices, and my role in all of it. I started to realize that it wasn't just this one choice I made. It was kind of a accumulation of choices I've been making for years. Like, for example, when I had my first daughter, I never taught her Spanish because I didn't care to have her learn Spanish. And after having my second daughter, I kind of knew that I was a hardworking man. He raised me and my 4 siblings. And now he's fighting for his life in a cell. I'm still fighting with everything I have to see if I can get him released so that he's able to spend his final days at home surrounded by his family and his children. When I voted for Trump, I supported the very system that allows this kind of cruelty to happen. That is a choice that I have to live with. Some people have said that my family deserves this or...
Now, I'm not completely happy that this is happening. The political situation is affecting often the least powerful. We have increased tariffs, we have wars, we have deportation. Only the poor or people with the least amount of power usually suffer the most when it comes to these situations. And in other news, Miss Candace Owens has changed her mind. She has made a complete U-turn. As you guys know, Candace was a huge Trump supporter. This is how she got her fame. And she actually used her fame in order to gain more things, more power to her. But we see you, girl.
I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. How could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen? Going after college universities, trying to suppress speech, while pretending that you're not suppressing speech, while pretending that you're fighting DEI. It's so messy. It's so obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing. People who are still trying to grift, I suppose, are not willing to challenge you on this, which is ridiculous, because when you are out of office, we are going to have to live with these consequences. Our children are going to have to grow up in this America, okay? So we threaten our speech. It's not worth it so that we can have pom-poms and go hurrah for a couple of years, then go, okay, well, yeah, now it kind of stinks because, we're getting arrested for wrong thing.
Yeah, and that's
welcome to democracy.
That's the whole thing about it. This was Candace Owens. Y'all remember I told you about Candace, diehard Trump supporter for years, since the beginning of time. And this girl says, you know what? I can't even go with this one. I mean, and that's huge. I'm sorry. That's huge. I mean, for her to just say and admit that, you know what, I don't know what he's doing. I don't even think he knows what he's doing. I regret the party altogether. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up. I really, really, really don't understand it. But anyway, we're going to keep on going to the next thing. These are more MAGA voters having meltdowns, and it's sad. These are people, they see the light. They finally are waking up and saying, you know what, I just don't know what he's doing at this point. I mean, people say he's doing a great job. I don't see how. The numbers don't tell it. Nothing is getting better at this point. So anyway, let's keep going. And then we're going to break this video down once it's over.
But here's the deal. I just read your great big beautiful bill, and it's bullshit. The overtime, no tax on overtime, this is the way it works in that bill. You ready for this shit? You get a $10,000 tax deduction at the end of the year for overtime, if you make less than $100,000. Well, let me tell you something, boys and girls. There are very few skilled tradesmen in this country, and I'm talking about construction workers, especially union construction workers, oil field workers, truck drivers. None of them will be eligible for that $10,000 deduction because it stops at $100,000. That's right, $100,000. Now that sounds like a lot of money if you're from Oklahoma, but let me tell you what, if you live in Washington, Idaho, Montana, California, Oregon, Colorado, even Texas, all the coastal states, New York through Florida, $100,000 is just an average wage for a skilled tradesman. Your welders, your pipe fitters, your good framing carpenters. That's just that. It doesn't get you there. It doesn't get you there, which means we'll still be taxed on all of our overtime. 100%. This is bullshit. Now, if you're at the 7-Eleven and you're working overtime, you might have a chance. But this is not going to affect those of us in construction and manufacturing. It's just not. A good line welder, most of the country, you're talking $46, $55 an hour.
First of all, I'm going to pause right here. Beautifully said. I'm glad this individual is calling bullshit. There's also a lot more bullshit in that bill. You know, the fact that we're claiming that we're cutting the deficit while adding $3.6 trillion with AT, or $3.8 trillion roughly, to the deficit.
Wix gives you the freedom to tell your story.
Based on those estimates, and that deficit comes from, we're, just giving tax cuts to the richest Americans, mainly the top 20, 10, 5, and 1% of Americans. And meanwhile, it's not like it's investing any money or increasing spending on any of, the different sections of America, like food benefits, SNAP benefits, Medicare. No. It's cutting all of those things. So yeah, the bill is garbage, and it's splitting a lot of Trump supporters. This is very interesting, but also well said, because no tax on tips is just, I guess, how it's outlined in this bill. It's terrible. So shout out to this guy. The important thing is that we continue to push and tell people, remind them how they felt. Don't have the memory of like a small gerbil, okay? We can't move to 2028 and people be like, well, it's fine. I forget about all the terrible things, because there's a lot of them. Let's take a look at the next one.
Don't listen to the Democrats. I promise you, not a single Republican is regretting voting for Donald Trump. I've been seeing this weird rhetoric all over my For You page over the past couple of weeks, because I think that like a lot of you guys are starting to watch Candace Owens and her podcast recently. No, we don't. 100,000 fucking 52%. We do not regret voting for Donald Trump.
Au contraire, I've come across at least 50 videos in the past 20 minutes just looking briefly of people who regret voting for Trump and who regret MAGA. Candace Owens being the number one culprit in this is hilarious to me, and this made my week, especially since tomorrow is Juneteenth. And I have to share it with you guys because they're now regretting it. And too little, too late.
I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. How could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen?
Stupid bitches get stitches. Y'all hoes better quit playing with me.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes!
Beyond betrayal.
We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war.
Wow, the pressure is getting worse.
You voted for Donald Trump. I did. Do you regret that vote? Yes, I do. If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say? I expected that you would do what was right doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America's going to look like at this point.
It goes on and on and on and on. And again, just like what he ran on at this point, I always say this to people, and you have to keep reminding them, even when they say these things. Whoever you're talking to, your friends, your family, someone online, it's like, do you remember where we were at 6-8 months ago, what Donald Trump was running on? In the middle of campaign season a year ago, this time a year ago, June, what was Donald Trump saying? Everyone in Washington is so incompetent that they're causing inflation and you can't afford anything. Day one will make you rich. Well, we just got the Fed yesterday saying inflation is going to continue to rise. The stock market, he said day one, be a gold rush. Stock market's struggling. Consumer sentiment is at near an all-time low. Consumer spending is really slowing. Businesses are saying they're having to push this price of tariffs onto the consumer. As he also said that, tariffs won't be paid for by consumers. They're paid for by foreign countries. Mm-hmm. Now flipping on that. That was his main thing. You remember that? Or I'm the peace president. Vote for me. We'll have peace. They're near World War III. As I record this, all people are talking about is like, holy shit, we're about to go back to war in the Middle East. What?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're starting wars, and all the stuff that he promised, he's not even doing, guys. He's doing some just random stuff. I mean, stuff that why are you tackling natural born citizenship? Why are you going after American citizens now? Like, none of this was in the campaign. None of it. He hasn't talked about inflation. He hasn't talked about, again, people that lost their homes in the wildfires last year, lost their homes in the mountains in the floods. We just had a recent, I want to say flood in Texas. And my heart goes out to those people that, lost their homes and loved ones. You don't hear him talking about any of that stuff. But we're constantly sending money overseas still. It's just a waste. It's really, really a waste. I know there's always going to be a Trump supporter that just doesn't see it, and they don't want to see it because they know reality has sunk in to a lot of people, including people in their own party. See, it's one thing for me to show Democrats saying this, then yeah, you can make that argument, oh, these are just Democrats. But when MAGA people are saying it and you still are in denial, that lets you know you just don't want to believe it, and that's okay. Sometimes it takes rock bottom for some people. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep going, and then we're going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight.
Right side of history. I vote for people who won't give cops immunity for unaliving my son. That's why I won't vote for people who put money into private prisons so that they can have slave labor and mass incarceration of our people. I vote to save my son. You vote for people who would see him rot in that prison cell. It would be nice if we could normalize not othering Black and brown people. But that is what you voted for. You voted for the candidate that othered Black and brown people. Your MAGA tribe, they didn't care about you then and they don't care about you now. They needed your vote, so they accepted you in for that reason. Those same people support othering Black and brown people. Whenever they think of Black people, they think hood and ghetto. They think walk on the other side of the street because we are dangerous. That is the lie that they have perpetuated about us to get your son to be in the situation that he is in right now. Your son is not viewed as human, is not viewed as someone who deserves the right to defend himself. They want us incarcerated. You spoke in one of your videos about equality. Ma'am, they brought back segregation. Do you think they give a crap about your son? Your tribe would be okay with your son not going to their schools, not swimming in their swimming pools, not drinking out of their water fountains. That's your tribe. So I say again, you changed your wardrobe at the end there to a stark blue. Why? Because you know that MAGA, they are not your tribe. Where are they now? They don't care about your son, and they never will. To them, to your tribe, your son would be better off spending 21 years in prison.
Wow, that was a very passionate, that was a very well said, just very well put together video by this individual. That was, wow. Shout out to this content creator. As this video ends, I want you guys to tell me what you think of that one in the comments down below. Wow. So yeah, again, very fascinating to see all of these individuals start to come around and say, we are done. And again, this continues to divide MAGA on the lowest levels, but also the highest levels, as we see, you know, Republicans fighting amongst themselves in the House and the Senate about not just the bill, but the war in Iran or the possible war in Iran, etc. So we need to keep pushing and telling people, remember what you voted for and look at what you have now, because those two things are completely different. All right, I'm going to end it here. Look, if you appreciated this video.
That's right. It is completely different. It is not what you voted for at all. Okay, so I'm so glad so many people are waking up. It's taking them some time to really process it, but you know what, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That's one more that's back sane again. Okay, so anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to be back on Thursday at 8 p.m. We're going to touch some more things on this political climate, because there's some more things going on with the war that we need to discuss. And also, we're going to start tapping back into the P. Diddy trial as well, because there's some new things that just took place, some verdicts that came out that we want to kind of discuss too. All right, guys. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed this content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any episodes every time I come on to YouTube. All right? All right. All right. Well, I will see y'all on on Thursday at 8 p.m. And we're going to go even deeper with this political game, okay? All right. So everybody have a great rest of your night. And I will see y'all at Thursday at 8 p.m. Take care. Bye-bye.